Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Catfish Weekly. I'm Chad with our amazing host, Mr. Lyle Stokes, and Josh, the weekend angler, my almost on par co-host, and we're joined tonight by Corey of River Catfishing. Link is in the description. What's going on, Corey? Welcome to the show.
Oh, not much. Thanks for having me, guys.
Not a problem, not a problem. We got some tournament results here real quick. Before we get started, we'll say hi to everybody in chat. We got out of the Indiana Catfish Association. We're going to go with the top five. We've got Terry Holding and Mary Jane, 32.8 pounds. Darren Wagler and Justin Wagler at 46.79. And they also had the big fish, is what it says. Doesn't have a weight outside of that, but third place, we got Randall Blankenbaker and Bruce Hupp at 55.90. In second place, we got Joe and Jeremy and Justin at 57.46. And coming in first, we've got Leroy Stoll, Randall S., and Jason at 77.3. These are the flathead bass results out of Patoka.
That's some awesome numbers.
Yes, it is.
That is some awesome numbers.
And we'll go over here and we'll saying some hi to some people here in chat. We got that amazing Fields to Water, amazing angler. He does a great show on Thursday night too, called The Bait Shop. Yeah, go check that guy out. He's just top notch. We've got member James Dockery Fishing, member Uptown Chrissy Brown. We got that weirdo Catfish Weeklies in here. Miss Christina Dunnigan, Real and Virtual Outdoors. We got
remember Mark from Catfishing Crappie. I missed Mark.
Maybe I did that on purpose.
Well,
we got Mr. Parker Pursuit, Rods and Reloads, the fifth favorite brother. Joe Buck 66. Worth mentioning again is Christina Dunnigan, member Fishing and Freedom. And everything just jumps. Yeah. This ain't no ticky-tacky there, Corey.
Hey, I can't even see the chat. I'd like to comment back to people, but I can't see anything.
We'll get there.
A new chatter in chat tonight. Donald Long. Welcome, Donald.
What's up, Donald? We got Cotton Picking Fishing, member Brian B. Catfishing, member Get Hooked on D Fishing, Mr. Maurice Cason, Mr. Palmetto Cats, Fishing the Mid-South, Fishing with Catfishing with Cause, member Bumpin' Mike Greenwell, Dale Hayslip. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard lately.
It's acting silly tonight.
Yeah. Goober Time Guide Service.
Oh, that's my buddy.
Heck yeah.
I got
get Troy from Real and Virtual Outdoors.
I did.
Parker.
Got him.
Okay.
Got him.
We're trying to keep you straight.
We just try to keep you honest, Chad.
Big Wrench.
Yeah,
I'm good way to go.
Maurice Cason's in here.
Hey, Curtis Montgomery. You didn't get that one. Did you?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know.
Curtis Montgomery. I think I pretty much got everybody. If I have missed anybody, I apologize, but it was probably Lyle's fault.
It probably was, yeah. Dale Hasler.
Poor Lyle.
All right. Again, for our moderators, Corey's link to his YouTube channel is over in the description. If somebody would mind dropping that, he's got a whopping 4 subscribers, and 2 of those are me.
Perfect. And one of them's me.
And one of them is himself. I guess you got to subscribe to yourself. If you're not going to believe in yourself, nobody will.
I got 16,000 followers and 10 subscribers on TikTok, though.
There you go. So, I wasn't going to throw him under the bus. He's got 2 strikes really against him tonight. One, he's coming to us fresh to YouTube from Tiki-Taki land. So strike 1. And he also lives close to the Buckeye haven up there that nobody else likes in the country. So
I'm not a Buckeye fan.
He's got a new subscriber now.
Took
he just picked up one from me too.
For Corey. I can deal with that you're not a Buckeye fan.
I live in the heart of the Buckeye state, and I'm a Michigan fan. Had a tough life.
I bet so.
It's like a step up, but it's really not that far. Just letting you know that.
Let me guess, you're from somewhere down in SEC land.
Well, no, actually, I'm a Penn State fan, but the wife's in there going, "Yeah, go Big Blue," because she's a Michigan fan.
Perfect.
Anyway,
We got a lot to dig into tonight. This is going to be a good time, I
we're
think.
gonna have a fun time.
We have no idea.
118 people watching on my left. Can't wait.
There we go.
Well, just for what it's worth, and just the time that we've talked about this, Corey, you've jumped to 18 subscribers on YouTube. So
That's check that out.
Look, cash
Four,
the check.
you
right
come on
now.
Catfish Weekly, you're 4 times the subscribers right off the bat. So there you go.
That's right.
It's also Ohio River Catfishing on TikTok, just so everybody knows.
Yeah, it is Ohio River Catfishing on Tiki Land. If you're one of those people that like to go over there and follow, he has, we'll say, some really good and some very interesting content over there. So, I know you do what?
Controversial, some people say.
Some might say even controversial. You never know. We might get into some stuff. But we're going to start out because like on your YouTube, I've noticed the few things that you have up there is like you're really trying to be a teacher of sorts too, because you're a tournament angler. You actually travel quite a bit and do tournaments. You fish a lot in your area as well, and that's where I was going to start. I don't know where we'll end up, but let's start there.
Good starting point.
Yeah, let's talk about your tournament. Let's start about your tournament life, because you're a pretty good fisherman. I mean, obviously, by the thumbnail that yours truly made, which was very easy to do with such a big fish.
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful fish, but you travel all over the place. Tell us a little bit about your traveling tourneys.
So I haven't been a tournament angler long. This is my 3rd year tournament angling.
Season pro.
A season pro, really. I am. It only it's a catfish and cut shad. How hard is it, right?
That's right.
So
Skipjack.
I haven't been tournament angling long. I got into catfishing when I was a kid. Unfortunately, unpopular opinion, when I was a kid, my uncle, nobody had a boat. I remember fishing with him on the banks, and I remember the competitive edge that had. I quit pay laking a long time ago. I was 10, 12, 15 years ago, but the competitive edge stayed with me. So when I bought a boat and I started fishing, actually my very first trip out fishing, I was on the Ohio River. I bought a boat. We got it all ready for catfishing. My brother and I went out. I caught my PB flathead that day at 61 pounds. Very first fish I put in the boat.
Very nice.
And,
that's the way to christen a boat right there.
Instantly, I mean, I was hooked. We had no idea what we were doing. I couldn't even tell you what we were fishing. We weren't fishing structure. We weren't fishing a drop off. We weren't fishing a tree. We stopped at one spot on the river and suspended some lines, and 20 minutes later, we're holding a 61-pound flathead.
We'd be catfishing.
Oh man.
Yeah, so I'm like, this is easy. Like, I ain't never done anything this easy in my life. What do all these people complain about? And that was 3 years ago, and still my personal best flathead. And I caught 361 flatheads last year. So if that tells you anything,
Man,
That's a lot. Of flathead.
that is a lot of flathead.
But my tournament angling started 3 years ago. Right after I caught that fish, we did some small local tournaments, and we moved on to a national trail this year. We fished it hard. Unfortunately, not going to fish any more of them, but we're going to switch gears. We're going to fish some other tournaments local here. We're going to travel the country still. I know the North Alabama Catfish Trail puts on a good tournament series down there, so we're going to fish some of those. Justin Fricky's got some tournaments coming up that we're going to fish. I'm on his team with Toughest Frickin' Rods. So we're still going to be out and about. We're still going to be out and about and fish events all over the country. But it's just not going to be. We're not going to dedicate ourselves to one team.
Who is running the North Alabama Catfish Trail tournament trail?
Lisa Haraway.
That's who I thought. You're in good hands there.
Yeah.
No,
Lisa,
I like Lisa Haraway.
great,
Lisa and Terry are good people.
Lisa and Terry are good people. I've known them for years. Absolutely.
James
I thought that was right.
Who is Josh's biggest hero, wants to know how many different lakes and rivers do you fish each year?
This year, so far this year, when I say this year, we're going to go rolling 12 months. So far in the last rolling 12 months, I've been in 9 states, and I fished 16 different bodies of water, and I've only skunked one time, and it was on my home water.
That's about
That's
right.
that's about how it goes, ain't it?
It is how it goes. You spend so
normal.
much time. I think what it is you spend so much time breaking down all these new bodies of water, and you go like I'll spend when I know I have a tournament coming up. For instance, on Wheeler this year, I'd never been to Wheeler. We went down, we fished Wheeler. I spent so much time breaking that lake down. I bet you for 2 weeks beforehand, my wife got sick and tired of it. That's how often I was talking about Wheeler Lake. We went down there, we caught 40 flatheads. So, you know, I do a really good job breaking all the other lakes down, but when I go to my home water, I'm like, oh, this is easy. I fish here every day. And I got skunked.
Yep.
So there were some tournaments that we caught fish, just not enough and didn't weigh in. But I've only ever truly been skunked in the last rolling 12 months one time.
Stephanie from Cotton Picking Fishing would like to know your fishing goals for this year.
So my fishing goals have recently changed. I was obviously wanting to be number one in a national trail. This year, I think more along the lines. My fishing goals for this year is to educate as many anglers as I can. I learned that tournament angling is a lot of fun. It's a lot of drama and it's a lot of stress and it's a lot of money. So I find more passion in the fishing world and in my TikTok videos teaching people how to fish. I did an event last Saturday where we did a veterans event up on the Sandusky Bay where we took a veteran fishing. And I had more fun and I got more enjoyment out of letting him watch us, what we were doing and teaching him about catfishing and really just giving the day to a guy that gave so much to us that I don't even know if it's going to be guide trips as much as it is picking people on my TikTok and taking them fishing. You know, it's just, I enjoy the camaraderie in catfishing. I enjoy when people ask me questions and I do those video replies, my TikTok's full of them, right? You go to other people's TikTok, it's full of them catching fish. There's some fish videos on there, but I thoroughly enjoy the education part of catfishing. So I would say my goals this year is become a better say it ain't so. But my goals this year would be to become a better educator and become more of somebody looks up to on, hey, how can we do this? I'm not saying I'm the best cat fisherman in the world. Maybe I might be the best cat fisherman in my house, but not in the world. So, but I do enjoy teaching people. I enjoy showing my passion through my videos on TikTok and through my interactions with people that I meet.
That's outstanding.
That's the best way to do it. That's the right way. So.
Well, Miss Chrissy, I do hope that Ernie's okay there. It looks like Ernie had a fall.
Oh goodness!
Like
Yeah, Chrissy had to step out of the ladies tournament this weekend because Ernie fell. She said thinks that he did it on purpose because she's already caught more cats than he has this year. So,
my good buddy James Dockery wants to know if you think the sport of catfishing is going in the right direction, and if not, what needs to be changed. And I knew this was coming.
These questions they're teetering here.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? You just give us an honest opinion of what you think, and don't think about anything. If I get involved with it, because I'm liable to say something that nobody's going to like.
Well, I've said a whole lot of things that some people
don't
forget.
Like,
but
but
if you start reeling, I'm coming back to you. No, I would say, when I got into catfishing, was when the King Cat Tournament Trail had just been relaunched and there was so much promise and so much hope out there. I was thinking catfishing is headed in the right direction. Unfortunately, due to recent allegations that are coming out and you really start looking into it and the catfish industry, it has the ability, if we could just get the right people in place and everybody would do the right things, the catfish industry could be bass. We could get there. But every time you turn around, there's some kind of scandal going on at some kind of tournament trail, and it brings where we are up here, and it just comes crashing back down.
And it's not just with King Cat.
That's what I said. I know it's in other tournament trails.
Yeah, but and not just honestly, tournament trails, organizations too.
Yeah, well, we know the big one.
Yeah,
but I think there's enough passionate anglers out there that we can keep the catfish the industry in the right direction. But man, when you get those big hits from the giant players, it really does. I don't think they realize what that does when it sets back. Every one step forward brings us 10 steps back, it seems like. So I think if we can come together as anglers, we can keep pushing catfishing in the right direction. But we're never going to get there if we can't all become a unified front and we can all recognize when there's issues, and we can all recognize problems, and we can tackle them together and solve all the issues in catfishing. The problem is you got one guy looking this way and the other guy's looking this way, and they will never see eye to eye.
No,
unfortunately.
What I see as the problem is this here. They're counting too much money they're putting in their hip pocket instead of doing it for
You're
the right
exactly right.
reason.
Yep.
And the people that are running most of these organizations and tournament trails don't care about the fish. They don't care about the conservation. They don't care about the anglers. What they care about is how much money they can take home at the end of the day.
Yep.
That's the wrong reason to be doing it.
Yeah, but just remember, there are, at the end of the day, there are more cat fishermen in this country, in the world, than there are people trying to take money from catfishing.
You're right.
So if we vote with our wallets, and you got somebody that's pulling crap and they're doing stuff that's not beneficial to the sport, and you stop giving them money, guess what? They go away. They go away real quick when they don't have money.
That's right. That's
You're
exactly right.
Vote with your wallet, and voting with your wallet does a heck of a lot more than, just about anything else you could do anymore. So,
well, and we've seen what the unified catfishing that happens to be the big one we were talking about.
That's the one. That's the one.
I had to highlight
what
that one
happened
when
when the unified front. When the unified front of catfishermen come together, we've seen it, And I didn't catfish at the time, but I know how bad commercial fishing got on the rivers in the 90s. And although there's still issues with it today, I mean, we're making strides. Ohio now has laws. Kentucky now has laws. Indiana has laws. West Virginia outlawed it. So it takes time. Obviously, everything takes time, right? But we've seen when we all come together and we all are so passionate about something, we've seen what can happen. And it just has to stay that way. We can't have anglers turning their backs on anglers, or, the anglers that cheat, the anglers that lie, the ones that steal, they're not going to stay around. They're going to stay here until they get busted so many times that they leave. Or they're going to stay here until they get what they want, and then they're going to move on, and they're going to be crappie fishermen next week. So it doesn't matter. Those kind of people are always going to exist. But the true cat fishermen, the ones that are in it for conservation and education, the ones that are here for the right reason, if we can just stick together, stay tight, I think we'll be. I think the catfishing front's going to stay fine.
I can I'll give you a prime example of that. I do a lot of, not as much as I used to, but I do a lot of work with Missouri Department of Conservation. We help get regulations passed. Used to go to their meetings to get stuff done. And in those days, we was trying to get it done in 11 states. I was on a first name basis with 9 state directors that was over top of making regulations for them states. The problem is you got guys out there cussing them, calling them names online. They don't have to do anything for you. If you piss them off, they're not going to do nothing to help you. You got to treat them with respect. Not that they deserve it, but they've earned it. Yeah. And if you can't do it that way, you can't play the political end of it. If you can't play the political end of anything that makes regulations, you need to sit your ass at home, keep your mouth shut, and let somebody do it that can. Yep. It's just that simple.
Well, and it's just like when you bring up, issues. You can't go on there, mother effing everybody on the internet. And screw you.
And it happens online every day,
all the time. If you have, and then let the internet do its job. If you put it out there, what's going on, and you have solid proof, there's going to be the 10 guys that are against you. I have those guys. Yep, but it speaks volume to the 14.8 thousand people that are commenting on my stuff saying, hey, we see that going on too, So you're always going to have the people that stand with the other side because they're all in it together. It just takes the right people doing the right thing, and you can control the narrative, which I believe we've done in several and at least 2 different instances. I believe I've controlled the narrative.
I'm glad to see somebody jump up and do some stuff. Just prepare yourself, because at some point they will all come at you at one time and make you into something you're not, and tell stories about you that are absolutely lies and make everybody believe them. Because I promise you, it not only happened to me, it happened to Jody Harrison and some other outstanding people in this sport. Jody Harrison's the greatest tournament director. Jody Harrison's the greatest tournament director that was ever in catfishing. Done more for the sport than anybody else, and had things in place to make it 10-folds better than it's ever been before. And he got hosed down by a bunch of wannabes in the sport that are still hanging out, screwing stuff up.
Well, and I'll tell you, it did happen. A fellow by the name of Jeremy Chase thought he'd get on Facebook and attack me last night, and I am the first one to admit that I have a past. I mean, I have a pretty bad past. I'm in business, right? I'm a contractor. We took a bunch of deposits. We got way behind. One guy stiffed me $100,000. I started using money that wasn't mine to make ends meet. At the end of the day, it caught up to me. I'm not ashamed to admit that I screwed up because everybody in their past has screwed up.
That's right.
They thought they put that all on Facebook last night and shut me down. So I went on there and told the same story. I did get sued and people did press charges on me. All the charges were dropped and everyone who sued me has been taken care of. So at the end of the day, I made a mistake. You know, everybody does it. And I'll even, because everybody's already put the number out there, the number was well over $200,000. In 6 months, I repaid $245,600 to people that at one time thought I was going to screw them. So I'm not ashamed to admit that I messed up. I made a mistake and I paid dearly for it. My wife and I started our life completely over because of it. They already tried that. And when they saw, they said, well, look at him living in a glass house throwing stones. Nah, dog, a bulldozer bulldozed that glass house. It's made of bricks now. I rebuilt it with bricks this time.
There you go.
So, you know, I'm not afraid to admit that I messed up. I did. And I messed up big time. And my whole family, my mom, my dad, my kids, my aunts, uncles, cousins, everybody paid for my mistake.
Yep.
And I worked through it. You know, I didn't move to Mexico and get away from it. I stayed here. I faced the music. I went to 4,000 court dates and I fixed it all. So while they're putting that false narrative out about me, I understand that I messed up. Doesn't make me a bad person. What makes me a great person is I stayed here and I fought the fight and I fixed it.
There you go. And I went through a similar thing like that. I still have a son that still don't speak to me over that, and he didn't even know nothing about it. I told him about it, and he won't speak to me. And you know, it's his loss. I don't know all I can do, but you know, that's you just adapt and overcome. That's what you do.
That's what it is. I know that people will always look at my past and they'll put me in a category of some kind of criminal. Melissa Goldston also messaged me and said, "You're a criminal. What if we put this all out about you?" And I just got a really cool message. I'll read it to you here in a second.
Okay.
She said, "What if everybody found out about you?" And I told her, I said, "Listen, everybody's already found out about it." There was a time when everybody in my local town put it all over Facebook. And I did. I ran and hid. I was scared to death. I didn't know what to do. But what are you going to do? You know? But the message I just got, we've already gone down the path, so we might as well do it. The message I just got, the King Cat Trail made a huge announcement today on national TV. Did you guys see that?
No.
They announced this big giant tournament they're going to have. Well, in the picture, they were pulling a Sea Arc boat. They're sponsored by Low Boat, who gives them 2 free boats a year. Somebody, I'm not going to name any names, maybe you know him, maybe it's me, sent a picture of that to Low Boats. And they just messaged me back and said, "Oh my goodness, thanks for bringing this to our attention."
Guys, I'll be right back.
Dang it.
Oop. And
He gone.
He gone.
He gets I have a firm belief, and Chad has a really good job. If you have a job and you value that job, it takes precedence over anything. That'd be like if work called Josh and he'd have to go take it. If you have a job and you like your job, you take care of that job. Catfish will still be here.
Yep.
You know, me and you can go on, Corey.
I think you and I could do this until the moon comes home, bud.
I'm thinking you're right about that.
I got my buddy sitting in my truck and it's running because we're going fishing after this. I might as well tell him to shut it off.
Hey, Dave Funk, welcome. Real time.
Matt from Wannabe Outdoors is in here. John Parker's in here.
Shirley Steve. Let's see. 205 Wild Action. Brad Becks.
We got 71 people watching right now, showing 29 thumbs up. Let's see if we can get the thumbs up. And we're also posting Corey's link to his YouTube channel in chat. So go over and give him some subs. I just looked at it again. He's at 26 now. So
very good.
I'm blowing up.
I'm blowing up right here, right? You know.
Welcome, Vince.
Catfish Weekly. Hashtag blow up your YouTube.
Terra Fishing. Parker
We
Pursuit.
have
Big Slim.
As I told you guys at the beginning, I'm live on YouTube too, and it keeps bouncing between 70 and 300. We've been as high as 350, and right now we're at 110.
Well,
And they're blowing my
Wait,
chat
wait.
up, but I told them I was ignoring them. If they want to chat to where we can see it, they need to come over here to YouTube to you guys.
That's right. Come over here to
Yep,
YouTube.
come over to
subscribe
Catfish.
Catfish
There's
Weekly.
Keith from Fishing and Stuff. Hey there,
Hey,
Keith.
our buddy right there, Keith, has joined us. Glad to have
Keith
you in
put
here.
out an awesome video yesterday.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He got my attention. All he's got to say is Harbor Freight, and I'm there. So I love Harbor Freight.
So does he.
Yeah, Harbor Freight's awesome.
I've been to them a couple of times, and yeah, they got some pretty cool stuff. I'll buy a lot of wire ties and things like that there because, let's face it, there's probably one company that makes all the wire ties in the world. You know, Danny Stone.
Freddie's out.
I didn't hear anything you guys said. You guys disappeared for a good couple minutes there.
Oh wow!
Oh really?
Must be Chad's internet.
Gotta be. Come on, Chad. Do better.
I think he's gotten it there.
I apologize. It was not work. My father was calling me because he.
Oh wow!
You know how they are at that age.
Here's a friend of mine that I have fished against at so many tournaments. Him and his wife Terry Stone. They live up in either Illinois or Iowa. I can't remember which. Him and Diane are some of the finest folks you ever want to meet. Great tournament fishermen. We have had a blast. We've ate a lot of dinners with them, and they are outstanding people. So welcome, Terry. Glad to see you in here. Illinois. I couldn't remember.
I seen an old friend of mine, Mr. Vincent Nadowski. You know,
Yep.
that's one of the things that come out.
Vince in here. That's good to see Vince.
You know, well, yeah,
Vince-
you're talking about
Vince used to join us all the time.
That's where I met him. Is I like the local smaller clubs. You know, we had the Indiana Catfish Association. I fished them, the SWAC, the Whiskey City ones and stuff like that. I've never gotten into the bigger trails like that, and I haven't fished them in over a year now. But once my wife decides to buy me a new, catfishing boat, that I feel better about tournament series, then I'll probably get back into them here.
Wait, that's a thing?
She bought you a TV screen depth finder.
My wife buys. The
I
wife.
hear her yelling.
She just yelled. The wife is already ready.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my
No,
wife
I
just-
fish Vince's trail too. Him and I talk. We
Yeah.
talked about these situations that's going on now. I think Vince is an awesome guy. Puts on an
Yeah.
awesome tournament. It's a great group of guys that fish Vince's trail. So
Yeah.
I'm excited
Vince
to
is
fish
a
his
cool
trail.
dude.
Got my
Honestly,
butt whooped down in Indiana, but we're ready for Gallipolis this weekend.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know
you're-
Vince for a long time. He's a super nice guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Christina and I would not have been able to fish the Monsters on the Ohio a few years ago if it hadn't been for Vince. I had
Yeah.
blown up a power head on the boat, changed motors, needed a different prop, and Vince took care of me on that one. So
That's awesome. Vince is a good dude. Him and
He
I
is.
butt heads a couple times over some of the stuff that I put
Well,
out, but
that-
at the end of the day, we're still buddies.
There you
that-
go.
that's easy
But
to
that's
do.
the kind of guy he is.
You gotta pass that.
He
but-
seems like the kind of guy that'll if he's got an issue with you, he'll tell you, but then you guys can shake hands and make up after. I like
Yeah,
it.
you're still on speaking
Yeah.
terms. Where a lot of people get like that. You butt heads with them, they're done. Well,
Right.
screw you. I don't need to visit with you anyhow.
No,
No,
Vince and
just-
I can talk about it, and then he comes right back and asks me if I'm fishing this weekend. So
That's Vince, all right.
I like
Yeah,
Vince. I
he's-
like Vince a lot. He's
he's
one of the
just
real
straight
people
up.
that I've met in catfishing.
Well, here's a new one.
Who?
the
The
bait
bait
shop,
shop,
Oh, man, the bait-
department.
The bait shop HR department's made it all the way from my show over to here. That's not good.
We're getting fired.
It's getting ready to go then.
But the people like that and those smaller trails and like what you were saying, talking about wanting to be more educational and teaching people and stuff like that. That's what I liked about them. Let them smaller local club tournaments. Is,
Mhm.
I didn't buy my first boat until 2019, and people like Vince and Mark Blauvelt and the guys that from those other clubs really are the ones that I kind of learned tournament fishing and how to really catfish and stuff like that from. So,
Right. And I've met Mark as well. Mark's a great guy as well.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
call him
absolutely.
the professor.
I've
Told him
set
to
outside.
He loves teaching.
I've sat outside motels at rooms at tournaments with the mosquitoes chewing on us so bad that you couldn't hardly stand it, and Mark would still be there explaining
Mhm.
something to me or someone else that he believed was what was giving him success before a tournament, knowing these people was going to fish against you.
Mhm.
And he was out there, like I say, mosquitoes just eating us up, and he was still going because he wanted to make sure that everybody had a chance at success. And that's Mark Blauvelt. That's just the way he is.
Well,
Real down to earth guy. I've talked to him on the phone a few times.
Before we go on, my wife would like me to announce that she beat Mark Blauvelt in one tournament one time. I heard her walk down the hallway. I beat Mark in a tournament.
Hey, you better hang on to that memory.
Yeah,
it don't happen.
I was able to come out ahead of him a couple of times on the King Cat Trail, but it was hard work. And those guys are solid fishermen. Ryan and Mark are. They just
Ryan.
They are
some of the
good
best.
guys.
They're
And
some of the best
genuine,
fishermen
great
I've ever
folks. You know, they're
really
just
good
good
down there.
people. Yeah.
I remember when we were going to go to Kentucky Lake, I ended up not making that one. I sent Ryan a message. I'm like, hey, dude, I know nothing about Kentucky Lake. Can you help me here? Can you help me there? And he was an open book, man. It was the coolest thing. It was cool to know that you were competing on that level and still humble enough to help a fellow angler. And
Exactly right.
that's what I look for is guys like that. Because like I said, that's what I enjoy the most about catfishing, being able to help anybody I can.
When you call those people like Mark Blauvelt your friend, they are true friends, not like some of the guys that tell you they're your friend and are not. Mark Blauvelt says that he means it. Ryan's the same way. They're good people.
I think they may be a little upset with me over this last thing, but I think they're good enough people that will come out on the other side and be cordial.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will.
Losing you guys again.
It must be Chad again.
Be that Buckeye internet.
That's what it is. If I had Wolverine internet, I'd be at the top and I'd be real big.
Oh, yep. Look, there he goes. He circled. There he is. He's back.
There he is. He's back.
I'm
now.
back.
What do you think about the TikTok fishing community?
I think somebody might be on my TikTok watching videos. Overall, I think the TikTok fishing community is decent. I wouldn't say it's great. I think everybody realized how fast you can blow up on TikTok, me included. I'm not excluding myself from that at all. I think that there are some big name players in the TikTok community that could use that better. I watched Chunky last night go to the river, him and his wife. They sit at the ramp and he looks at the camera and he says, if I get 100,000 likes, I'll launch my boat. So he sat in his truck until he got 100,000 likes and then he launched his boat. He gets out on the river. He says, if I get 450,000 likes, I'll throw a rod in the water. And I'm like, why do people send anything to that guy? Like,
Yeah.
If I get 10 galaxies, we'll start fishing. And I'm like, okay, scroll to the next one. You don't have to watch that guy catch tiny blue cats over and over and over again. You know, it's the guy's fishing the Potomac River. You can take bubble gun, drop it over the side on a Barbie pole and catch the hell out of them. And I'm like, that doesn't
That's
resonate
so true.
with me.
He only fishes one place.
Right. You know, he
One
fishes
place.
one little teeny tiny pool of the Potomac River. He's got 3 spots that he fishes. And
That's
every time
right.
he goes there, he catches a bunch of fish. To show him that everybody can do it, I started fishing the Sandusky Bay, and I had a 65 fish night, an 85 fish night, a 95 fish night, a 75 fish night. If you go where there's a ton of fish, you're going to catch a ton of fish. If you're a good fisherman and you can go catch
I have to
fish on the
disagree. I have to disagree.
Well,
He went to Wheeler Lake where there's a ton of fish, and how many did he catch?
Oh, no, but he said there's no fish down there.
He's full of crapola.
That's what he said. He said there's no fish in Wheeler Lake.
He is full of bull.
I was there the week before him, never been there, and caught 40 flatheads, but there's no fish in
Wheeler Lake is like fishing in a swimming pool full of fish. It's just the way it is.
Right.
You don't always catch giants, but you can always catch a bunch.
And I didn't have a problem with Chunky. One of his followers came into my live. They reported my live. They got me banned. And all I did was I made a simple video. Hey, Chunky, one of your followers says you're a better fisherman than I am. Why don't we just do a challenge? Most fish. You're fishing the Potomac River. I would take that deal if I was fishing the Potomac River.
Absolutely.
Any day of the week. Well, he got on his live. He said, I'll never be on his level. I'm not the cat fisherman that he is, blah, blah, blah. And unfortunately, I have a really bad personality when it comes to stuff like that. I can't let it go. So unfortunately, a small little war ensued, and I found 4,500 people that didn't like Chunky too.
I'm surprised it wasn't more.
It's still gaining. It's got 70.
There you go.
So I never wanted that. That's not what I wanted to get on TikTok for. I was not wanting to get on TikTok to bash somebody, but he went on his live and did it. You know, he couldn't even call me. He couldn't make a video that I could comment on. And the second I got in his live, I got blocked. The second I got in there, I didn't even get a chance to defend myself.
No. And those guys will never
Unfortunately for
let
that
you.
fella.
Those guys like that will never let you. And when they do
won't.
that, it's time they get lit up.
Right. Well, and
That's the way it is.
he's an entertainer. He's not a fisherman. And that's fine. You know, that's fine. Just don't tell me you're a better fisherman than me when I fish 16 different lakes in 9 states and caught fish at every one of them, and you catch 16 fish in the same hole every night.
Yeah. You know, that's like Josh went to a thing out in Colorado, and he tried to catch fish in every state between here and there. Weather didn't permit him to be successful in all of them, but that's a heck of a challenge. The places that you've never been before with no bait, no nothing, to try to catch fish in every one of those states, I thought was an amazing challenge.
Oh,
on his
Milford Lake
part.
kicked my rear.
But yeah, Milford kind of got him a little bit. And
I'm
Milford's
going
got a
back
lot of
after
fish.
I'm going back after Milford. I'm going back after Milford. And we're going to go out there with the boat. So,
And that was our plan, fishing these King Cat events. I don't care if I win them. If I can go there and I can bring a limit of fish to the scales, I did my job. And I did it at every single tournament except for one. And that's because we didn't weigh in. We had our 3 fish, but they were 3 fish for 7 pounds. I mean, it wasn't worth it. It was down at Clarksville. They had dropped the water 3 feet overnight, killed the bite. I mean, it went from 2.5 mile an hour current to reverse current.
You see, you're talking about something right there that we don't have here, Chad. And I need to understand how that works. Is the current as it flows forward and backwards?
All the time.
Tidal current. We don't have that where I live, and I think that would take some getting used to.
That would definitely be something.
I've been to the James. Oh, sorry, Chad. Go ahead.
No, I agree with you. I've only fished the James one time, and I didn't notice anything about the tide, probably because it was running at like 8 miles an hour. They had just got flooded when I was down there, and we caught one fish while we were out there, so I didn't get to experience the tidal part of the James River while we were out there. So it definitely would be different learning when and how to fish, the incoming versus the outgoing and all that sort of thing.
And I've been to the James now. I've taken 9 trips to James. Every single trip we've caught at least 150 pounder, and my biggest is 72 at come out of the James. And it was really the very first night I got down there. I went down there on a whim. Joe Granada had mentioned it, and he's like, "Man, you should go. It's a great spot." Well, I went down there to fish a tournament. I didn't even know anything about the James. It was that night, that very first night on the James, seems to be a reoccurring theme with me, that I caught my PB Blue Cat. Had no idea what I was doing. Found a flat that had a creek in front of it. Threw our poles out and got smoked 72 pounds. So I was feeling real good. I mean, I'm like, again, like the very first day I fished, what do people complain about? This is easy. And but getting used to that tidal current is very, very hard. So you talk to the guys that live there, and they love fishing the incoming current. The incoming tide pushes all them fish up them big gullies that are underwater up onto those flats. And I'm the opposite. Being from Ohio, when I go down there, I'm praying for an outgoing tide because it forces all them fish back into them channels that go up onto them flats, and I can catch them in the channels. So I've fished both. We actually placed 5th and 1st in the Signature Series this year for King Cat on the James River. And we were fishing an incoming tide. We started out in that channel, caught our big fish in the channel, and then moved up shallow. So it gets really, really hard. And I learned my lesson. We fell asleep on the boat at tide change and woke up and ended up cutting them all and going home because it was a tangled mess. The boat spun all the way around. All the lines are all tangled up under the boat. It was a nightmare. Can't believe I didn't break some rods that night. We ended up just cutting them all and going home. We couldn't get it. I mean, all the knots were under the boat. We couldn't get to them.
Yeah. It's just, I can't imagine how that would be. I find it very interesting, but like I say, here in the Midwest, we don't have tidal current. So
right.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely something you got to pay attention to, though. I mean, I've seen videos of Dan, Goober Time Guide Service, and them guys with their boat literally on mud. There's no water for like 20 feet.
Oh, yeah.
On each side of them because, it just went.
Yep.
It may have been Dan that warned me not to fall asleep on a shallow flat. I think it was Dan. Don't fall asleep on a shallow flat.
He wasn't lying to you. Dan knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, we got. Right. Yeah, it is. We got screaming Mississippi and Missouri current sometimes up to 8-9 mile an hour, but it's constant. It
doesn't change direction in the middle of the night.
Every day.
Yeah, it's always going the same way, and it always ends up down there by Creole.
Creole gets all of it. So
If you fall out, that's where you're going to end up being. Oh, you'll love it.
I heard I got to learn to bump to come out there.
Hello, Pam. Welcome to the stream.
You know, because we're down to about almost 20 minutes left, but you know, the very first time I saw you on TikTok, and I hate to admit that I was on TikTok, but I was. And
Dad,
remember, that's when I actually started messaging you. It's been about a couple months ago, because I was actually talking to you. We're talking about like pay lakes and stuff. That's what got me interested in your channel, is talking about pay lakes and again, we're going to go back into the educational part of it, right? Of educating people, and building catfishing and stuff like that, and getting rid of, not getting rid of, but trying to educate people why pay lakes are bad. So I figure we've ruffled some feathers already with this show. Let's go ahead and ruffle some pay lakers feathers too. So
right.
Now that's encourageable. Yeah,
that's encouraged, but
encourageable or encourageable.
Well, and the big stance that I take on pay lakes, and I think there's a lot of river fishermen that take the wrong stance. I don't hate the anglers that fish pay lakes. I don't. At the end of the day, we're fishing. Everybody's fishing. I don't like the DNR that won't do anything about it. I don't like the guy supplying the pay lake with the fish. And there's some owners I don't like, but then again, you can't blame them either. It's a niche, The fight has to go to the DNR. And like Lyle said earlier, it has to be a respectable fight, or the DNR just take you fly a kite.
That's right. That's exactly right. I'll tell you a story about pay lakes, and some of you guys have heard this story before. I had a nephew that was a big kid growing up, always great big. He was in a car wreck, and they got through the back glass of a 79 Ford pickup going to school one morning. He was in a car wreck, got thrown to, he's 6'3" or 4", probably weighed 400 pounds. They pronounced him dead twice on the way to the hospital, flew him there in a helicopter, and he survived, but he was paralyzed from here down.
I remember.
He lived up on a hill. They got him a wheelchair. He got everything lined out, and he'd take that electric wheelchair down that hill to a pay lake out in the middle of nowhere, Missouri, and he'd fish up there. He had like 4 pounds of strength in one hand and 2 point something in the other. And he fished with little bitty lightweight and tackle, and he caught great big fish. Now, for that area, 20-pound fish was giant, because they have to get them all the way from somewhere to BFE. You know what I mean?
Right.
But he enjoyed doing that. There is a place for pay lakes, but they should always have to.
There is a reason to have them.
That's right. They should always have to use farm-raised fish. They should never be able to take giant fish out of our rivers and put in those lakes.
You're right. They should have to use farm-raised fish.
Yeah.
Or they should only be able to buy 5 fish over 20 pounds a year. If you want to have a couple big fish,
I would be okay with that too, and not shock them and burn them and try to make them bite so people can catch them.
If they had a limit on what they could buy a year, they'd take care of their fish.
Right.
Right now it's unlimited, so they don't care.
Right.
They burn them with copper sulfate until the damn skin falls off. They die. They throw them in a dumpster.
That's horrible.
I literally just shared a video on my community tab within the last couple of weeks about one of those, and it shows the pictures of what happens to those fish.
It's devastating.
For all those people that are watching that maybe, and there's probably some on my side, probably not so many on your side, but I'm sure there's some on my side on my live that don't know much about pay lakes. There is a phenomenal website. It's called Exposing Pay Lakes. Go take a look at it. Go take a look at it and look at what is happening to these trophy-sized fish. And there's a couple people out there, well, I'd rather them go here and have a chance to live than go to a table when they get commercially fish to eat. And I'm like, well, that's what's wrong with the world. I'd much rather feed the starving family with that fish than watch it go to a pay lake and get burned alive.
I agree 100%.
And they're like, oh, we caught that fish 13 times this week. It's starving. There's nothing to eat in there. It's got to eat or it's going to die. So
they feed it chemicals to make it bite whatever's in there.
Right.
That's wrong. That's wrong. Peter, we see you in here, buddy. Glad you're still listening.
If catfish look like puppies, pay lakes be shut down tomorrow.
That's our cats.
Or kittens, yeah. If they were cute and adorable, they'd shut the pay lakes down tomorrow.
If catfish
are ugly, nobody cares.
If catfish was this big and green with a stripe down the middle of it, they wouldn't allow
there'd be people up in arms.
They burn the country down if that was bass.
That's right.
They'd burn the country down if it was walleye or muskie or trout or perch. But
did you know every
catfish, I guess,
bass?
okay.
Did you know that every bass that you fillet out and eat is one less crappie or bluegill eater?
Did you know that everyone I cut the head off and send out into a giant log pile catches me a monster catfish?
We're not allowed to do that here.
I was like, yeah, I don't get that luxury here.
Legal size and caught on rod and reel. It's game.
Yeah,
I don't eat
be
fish.
careful. Lyle loves cats.
No, he does
lover,
not.
so.
No,
I don't eat fish, so about the only use crappie and bass get for me is filleted on a bait board and tossed out to get eaten by a giant flathead.
I can't use crappie, man. They taste too good. Bluegill either. Well, I use bluegill, but bluegill I do use, but crappie I can't do it. But bass, I
use a little bit of everything here. I got a buddy that hammers them on walleye. We're catfishermen here.
If we were allowed to use crappie for bait in Kentucky, they'd be getting used.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, they work.
Are you allowed to use it on the Ohio River since it borders Ohio?
I think if you have an Ohio license plate,
if you had an Ohio license, if you've got a Kentucky license, you have to, as far as I know, use off your Kentucky.
Because like here we have a rod limit of 3, but when we're on the river, we get Kentucky's unlimited or 10 or whatever it is rod limit.
Right.
Because they have reciprocating laws.
Right.
Right. So I wonder what reciprocates. Like, I wonder, it doesn't make, because in Ohio, like, I'm allowed to fish on the Kentucky side and the Ohio side, but we follow more Kentucky laws than we do Ohio laws.
Right.
West Virginia the same way.
I think you might want to be careful with that, because if I'm not mistaken, that applies to, like, for me, if I go over to the Ohio side and fish from the bank, my Kentucky license.
I can't go on the bank. Yeah, no, I can't go on the bank. I only boat fish.
I
can't go up in any tributaries.
Okay,
yeah. In a boat, if I only have my Kentucky license, I cannot go up into your tributaries.
Right.
Same here. I can't go. I can't go to the
Ohio.
Ohio tributaries, but I can the West Virginia. I can go up in the canal up to the Buffalo Bridge on an Ohio license.
Yeah.
In Missouri, you're only allowed 2 rod and reel setups on the Mississippi River unless you have your name or conservation number or address and all that stuff. Then you're allowed 3. But you're allowed 33 hooks. So
Illinois lets you have hooks.
So if you have your name and address and phone number or your conservation number on your rod and reel setup, you can use 33 hooks. If you have 1 on each rod and reel, you can have 33 rod and reels.
Yep.
There's ways to it, but it also depends on which agent you get. But that's the way the law is written. So that way, if you're trot lining, you can use 33 hooks. Well, it's no different if you're using 33 rod and reels. As long as your name and stuff's on each one, you're allowed 33 hooks in the water, whether it be on rod and reel or on a trot line or jugs or whatever the case may be. But commercial fishermen can use substantially more, and that's wrong. They should not get to use any more than Joe Blow does.
Poor Joe Blow. He always gets the shaft.
He does. Man, he feels it right up the cheeks, too, man.
Dory D would like to know what kind of boat you have, so she knows what to buy for Chad. So
I fished out of a 2019. I fished out of a 2019 Tracker Pro V175 with the walk-through windshield. This boat was actually sponsored to me this year. So
nice.
Very nice.
A local farmer here that wanted to help me on my fishing journey, and he said, "Hey, you want to go with me to buy a boat?" And I never in my mind thought he was buying me a boat. So it was a pretty cool day.
I guess so.
I mean, if there's anybody out there that wants to help me on my fishing adventure.
Hey, Ryan Bortz, how's it going, man?
Hey, Ryan.
What's up, Ryan?
Glad to see you in here, buddy.
It's like fitting me for clothes or shoes. I wear a size 2100 boat.
Yeah.
With a nice live well in the back. Plenty of room from left to right.
Pam says you're getting a Polar Craft, and I saw hers yesterday or Saturday. That's a damn good looking boat.
They're great boats.
We've been looking at the Polar Craft. I've actually been messaging them. I can't hardly get them to write me back.
Well, Pam's got some connections up there. She's probably got a phone number, guaranteed.
Yeah, I'm trying to get some info because they're supposed to be doing some things differently in the upcoming ones, and I'm trying to prepare to see what I am actually going to do here in the next year or so.
David Smith, welcome.
Yeah,
Polar
well,
crafts
don't
one of my
think-
favorites.
Who was it?
Polar crafts are one of my favorites.
Yeah. Well, don't think when I go in there to buy that boat that I'm not going to name drop Pam. I'm gonna be like, you know that Pam Hollinger? I'm like, that's like one of my best friends. You know, I mean,
Yeah, we
Yeah,
go to dinner every Thursday night.
that's right. I let her fish in one of my tournaments one time. You know,
she's been on my show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the thing about, I don't know about Polar Craft, but Tracker didn't come with a Catfish Livewell. So,
yeah.
I mean, if you look back there, that whole deck back there, I cut that entire thing out and put an 80-gallon Livewell in there.
There you go.
Built it all
Yeah.
back in.
Yeah, I mean, I have a tracker too as well, but it's not a Pro V or deep. It's not deep at all. It's more of a bass type boat, and that's again why I've kind of backed off from doing the tournaments, because when you have a basically a little aluminum bass boat and you put a 60-70 gallon live well on the front of it, you're about an inch off the water going through, and it makes you a little bit nervous when you actually catch fish to take them to a weigh-in. So.
Buckeye, are you buying Flathead Luke's boat, I take it? I thought they were selling theirs, and he's got his set up like mine. He cut the back out, made a big old giant live well in it, diamond plated the whole back. That's probably the one he's picking up.
I'll drop that link for him right there.
I got it. I got it for you.
Look at that. Double time.
All right. Triple
Who knew
time.
I'd find my way onto the best podcast on YouTube.
That's right. Well, this is the longest running talk show on YouTube. So, Catfish show. When do we start our 10th year there, Lyle?
June.
It's
June
Lyle.
will be the 10th. June will be the 10th season for Catfish Weekly.
Hey, Lyle. I know you
I'm
don't
going
know
to
what
post
date
a
it is.
video.
Yeah. Wow. It's June now.
It's June now.
It's June now.
Forget.
I don't know exact date. I don't know exact date. So
Welcome to the present. I'm gonna
Chad's
post a
just
video
mad
here in a
because he
little
didn't catch me sleeping before the show tonight.
It has been a few.
No,
It
before
does
the show,
happen.
no, you definitely
fairly
weren't
regular.
sleeping.
No, I was wound up.
Mid-South
watched-
wants to know if you
I
took
watched
any
the
video.
TikTok video
Before the
before the
show
show started, and I got raring to roll. Fishing in Mid-South.
I do have videos of the live well. I just have pictures, not videos of me putting it in. Feel free to go on there if you guys. I'm gonna plug here for a second if you guys don't care.
Go for it.
Go ahead and feel free to go on my TikTok, guys. The thing I love most about TikTok is when you guys ask me questions or how to do something or how I do something. I love nothing more than making a video reply, because I've learned that it's not only you that I'm helping, but just about anybody who watches the video. So if you guys need me to do a video about how I built the live well or anything like that, I'd be more than happy to show you how I did it.
Looky here. Whisker Pig Fishing says these guys are dedicated. Mark, welcome to chat. We're so glad you made it in here tonight. If you guys haven't seen Mark's videos, go to Whisker Pig Fishing on YouTube. Check him out. Some of the most entertaining stuff you will ever watch. And a great
People
guy.
on my side, they keep reminding me. So Friday night, I started fishing at 6 p.m. I fished all night long because we had that veteran event on Saturday. So I fished all night long. I wanted to find some big fish to get him on, and we did. Saturday, we picked our veteran up at 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, somewhere around there, and we fished until 3. I then left there and drove to Gallipolis and fished until 4 in the morning on Sunday. So I was pretty tired. Well, Friday night, in the start of this giant adventure, we had anchor rope. Something got caught in the anchor rope. I don't remember. Maybe it was a fish. And I got up and I walked around this multi-bar right here. Well, I had my live well open and I forgot about it.
Oh,
and
wow.
when I come back around that live well, I stepped in the live well, tripped, smacked my face off the side of the boat, damn near knocked myself out and went in the water almost. So everybody on my side is laughing about that. So I'm going to post that video later. I haven't posted that yet, but now I feel inclined that I have to post it. It was the funniest thing I think I have ever experienced on the water. I'll tell you. It was hilarious.
Oh,
Yeah, I got to see that. You gotta
yeah, that sounds like my kind of luck right there.
Yeah,
So.
those are the types of videos that actually people enjoy to watch. Other people.
Yeah, I'm going to post that video. I keep forgetting to post it, but because they keep reminding me of it, everybody on my chat right now blowing up about how funny it was. I thought I was going overboard. It was the funniest thing.
Buck Williams
And if
saying
you've never
on
seen one
so.
of our lives on YouTube, we are wired. When we're live, it is like
Wait, hold on. You haven't been live on YouTube yet. You mean TikTok? You're over
TikTok.
TikTok.
I'm sorry.
I know. Look, dude. I know you're trying to break over. We're trying to help you out.
I'm sorry. If you haven't seen one of my lives on TikTok,
remember,
I'm telling you, we are wired. It is.
Hey, TikTok.
Yeah. YouTube.
TikTok. YouTube.
Oh my God.
So
you stay on the show very long, we'll have to give you a deal where you can delete Chad.
YouTube or TikTok, and then I put you guys on YouTube. I learned when I got in here. 2 minutes in, I learned how to do it.
Yep.
But when we're live on TikTok, like we'll be fishing tonight. We're gonna hit the Griggs Reservoir right here in Columbus. Well, it's a show. I mean, it's my partner. He doesn't. Every fish is a giant, and he loses his mind every time he hooks into something. It is the funnest. It is the funnest show on TikTok. I swear.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Entertainment's entertainment.
Right.
But if you're catching fish, entertainment's always better.
You're right.
That's just the way it is.
We can go different bodies of water. Like, so when I go live on Griggs tonight, that makes the 5th body of water in Ohio that I fished this week. And I'm probably jinxing myself, but we're probably going to catch fish there. I hope.
Oh, you just.
And if not, I'm going to catch a bunch of slack about it because 70 people just heard me say that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I'm over here thinking, you're definitely better right on, because when you look at that like side view, this ain't your best side, just so you know, when you're tiki-talking and stuff.
If you believe everything that man says,
ain't nothing honest right here.
Trust me, it ain't nothing but honest here too either. I get eaten alive every day on the internet because of it.
Hey Josh, we're coming up on like 3 minutes left. I know you've got the bragging board coming up.
Bragging board on the bragging board on there. Actually went back and got the awesome pictures that Mr. Creole had sent me and that I had forgotten to put in last week's bragging board. So we'll get those in there this week. Let's let her roll.
let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's time once again to take a look at the Catfish Weekly bragging board. This covers the week of June 4th, 2023. And get ready, everybody. We had a lot of pictures this week. Up first, we have our buddy Kyle of Fishing the Rut with a 30-pound flathead catfish caught out of the Mississippi River at Memphis, Tennessee. Nice fish there, Kyle. Next up, we have Mr. David Altizer. He sent us in a picture of his first flathead catfish of the season, and it's a nice one, too. Congrats, David. Our good buddy James Dockery sent us a picture of a couple of slab crappie he caught. Congratulations, James. You are a crappie master. Aiden Altizer sent in us a picture. This is one I was really looking forward to seeing. He caught a tagged blue catfish while out on the water. You can see the tag sticking out near the dorsal fin. Our buddy Matt of Nubby's Catfishing sent in a picture of a 12.8-pound blue cat caught out of the Cape Fear River, and also one happy little girl with a largemouth bass. Great pictures, Matt. Thank you. Up next, our good buddy Jeremy Dufour of Creole Catfishing showing off a 28-pound flathead his buddy Matt Bordellin caught while they were out fishing live. Right on the Mississippi River. Awesome looking fish. And his buddy Matt also came up with a new personal best 45-pound flathead. Jeremy said he didn't want to hold it, but he was sure willing to. Great fish, Matt. Congratulations. Don't forget that you too can be featured on the Catfish Weekly bragging board. To be eligible, the fish needs to have been caught within the past 14 days, but we'll take pictures of any species of fish. All you need to do is email your photo to pics@theweekendangler.com. We do ask you to send the information listed on the screen. That helps us get it out there on the bragging board. Guys, take care. Appreciate you watching Catfish Weekly. Thanks for sending in the pictures to the bragging board, and we'll see y'all next week.
Great job, Josh. Great job.
Good fish caught this.
Great fish, everybody.
And Bugman, let me put that up there. I don't know. What Lyle will know. What do you do when you catch tagged fish?
There'll be a number on that, and you contact the conservation department, and they give you information. It's just like a tagged duck or goose that you shoot. They will have information, tells you where that fish was tagged and when it was tagged and what the weight of it was when it was tagged. Then you can figure out where it was, if it's close to where it was tagged at, or it could be a long. My greatest story about tagged fish is one that was tagged up between Chillicothe and Kansas City, and it was caught below Memphis 3 years later. And my question's always been, not that it made it that far, because everybody knows that blue catfish travel long distances, but how many times did it make that trip? Just once or a dozen times? It hadn't gained a lot of weight. It gained some weight, but not outstanding amounts. And another one was caught that was tagged above Memphis, caught below Memphis a year later, and they claimed that it had gained astronomical amounts of weight. And I find it, the amount of weight that they talked about, I find it hard to believe. But now anything's possible, and I didn't weigh the fish either time, so I can't say. But they can only grow so much in a year, realistically.
We caught a tagged flathead last year on the canal that made it from Parkersburg to Gallipolis. It's pretty cool. You send the tag in, you pull the tag out of the fish. Well, in West Virginia, you pull the tag out of the fish, you put it in an envelope, you send it to them, they send you the information. Yeah, I think, if I remember correctly, and James Dockery may chime in on this, he may know, but I think that you can call a number for the Missouri Department of Conservation and give that number and do it online, I think, and they give you all the information about it. It's a really cool process. It doesn't mean that you have to release the fish. Some of them tagged fish have a bounty on them. Maybe $10, maybe $5, maybe $25. Some of them are up in the hundreds of dollars. Depends on where it is, who tagged it, and what the information is on the tag. So if you ever catch a tagged one, be sure to turn it in. Yeah, James says, yes, you can. I thought that was correct. Corey, man, I have enjoyed you being on here tonight. I'm so glad that Chad and Josh come up with the idea of having you on here, because I didn't know who you was. And I hate to say that, but it's true. But we've had a blast with you on here. We really have had. And we extend invitations out to people that do a great job on our show, and I would like to extend out the invitation for you to come back. And at some time, if you have something you feel is very important that you need to talk about, let one of us know, and we'll get you in here. I love truthful people and them telling stories about things that are happening in current events. You're very honest and above board, and we love you for that. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. I've done several podcasts, and there's only one other that I can say I enjoyed as much as I did tonight. So thank you, fellas, for having me. It's been a blast. I'm glad you guys allowed me to bend your ear, talk to your followers. I'm sure my followers over here, they've had a great time listening to you guys talk as well, and the stories that's been told. So I think this is the start of a great friendship, and I can't wait to be back.
Well, don't forget to stay in touch with us, and you have a new fan in me. I've become a fan of yours instantly when I seen some of your stuff. Like I say, some of the things that you're going to be going through or have went through, I've been through. The difference is I'm old enough, I don't give a damn anymore, and you probably are not.
We give a damn about none of them people.
Come on.
I really thought we were.
I thought we were going to get through it.
Right? Oh man.
I'm the same way, Lyle. If you're spending time worrying about what other people think your whole life, you live a miserable life, man. There's one guy in this world that I care what thinks about me, and he lives well above all of us. So. Yep,
that's exactly right. You guys, Chad, Josh, Corey, you guys close it out, and if you got any closing statements, let's get her done. Mark's got a great guest coming on here in just a few minutes.
Yep, make sure you guys get ready to go over to Panfish Nation. Not Panfish Nation. Oh, wait, this ain't Thursday night.
That's Thursday.
Go to Catfishing Crappie.
I was trying to rush my work week.
Mark will
where
be
do they go, Josh? I'll let you do it.
You go over to watch Mark there at Catfishing Crappie. He's going to be talking about the panfish tournament that's coming up this Sunday. He finally got a date set on it. And
you can still enter.
There's still, I believe, is some open spots, but he's going to be going over there. This is a really cool elimination tournament that's coming up. So
yep.
And if you can't get into Mark's tournament, Tad's will be the next one. Mine will be the one after that, and then James Dockery has one also.
Dockery.
And then we're coming up with the the top 2 from each of the 4 legs end up on the championship tournament later on in the fall. So,
Be fun.
Guys, take care, and see y'all next week on Catfish Weekly. And I think I'm pretty much got everything I need to say.
Have a great week. We'll see you over there on Marks, and then we'll see you Thursday night over on the bait shop on Fields to Water. Good night.
I appreciate.
Thanks again, Corey.
you guys hanging out with us, and